Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're about to take a deep dive into one of the most iconic and foundational coins in the entire history of American numismatics, a series that truly lives up to its reputation. It's a coin that many of us found in our pocket change as kids, sparking a lifelong interest in this hobby. Today, we're focusing all our attention on the legendary Lincoln Wheat Penny. This isn't just a simple 1-cent piece. It's a piece of national history, a work of art, and for many, the very first coin they ever purposefully saved. We're going to explore what makes this coin so special, why it remains so collectible decades after it was last minted, and what you need to know to find a great example for yourself. So, let's get started. First coin. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as a formidable pillar in the world of American numismatics, representing a key date that captures the essence of coin collecting during the Great Depression. Its appeal is not merely in its age, but in its position as a semi-key issue that bridges common and rare dates within the series, creating a persistent and robust demand among collectors assembling complete sets. The pursuit of this particular Denver Mint issue is a rite of passage for many, as its relative scarcity in mint state conditions presents a tangible challenge. This coin's significance is amplified by the era it embodies, making it a highly sought-after piece that consistently commands attention and premium prices in the marketplace, solidifying its status as a cornerstone for any serious Lincoln cent collection. Minted in the depths of the Great Depression, the 1935 cent emerged from a period of profound economic hardship that directly influenced its production and survival. The Denver Mint, one of the three active facilities at the time, struck a modest 47 million coins, a figure that, while not the lowest in the series, was still reflective of the constrained economic activity of the mid-1930s. These pennies entered circulation at a time when every cent counted, leading to extensive use and subsequent wear, which severely limited the number of pieces that survived in superior condition. The coin does not commemorate a specific event or figure beyond the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, but its true historical weight comes from being a tangible artifact of everyday American life during a defining decade, a small piece of copper that passed through the hands of a nation struggling toward recovery. Aesthetically, the 1935 Lincoln cent showcases Victor David Brenner's iconic design, which had already become a familiar part of the American fabric. The obverse features the dignified profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a revolutionary departure from the allegorical figures that had previously dominated U.S. coinage. The reverse presents the two wheat stalks encircling the denominations, a design that would last until 1958. What makes high-grade examples of the 1935 so special is the sharpness of strike and the quality of the luster. On a perfectly preserved specimen, the details of Lincoln's hair and the lines on the wheat ears are crisply defined, and the original mint luster can exhibit a beautiful, satiny sheen. The mint mark is prominently located below the date, a small but critical feature that distinguishes this coin and is often closely examined for strike quality. The rarity of the 1935 wheat penny is not rooted in an exceptionally low mintage, but in the extreme scarcity of examples surviving in mint state grades. The vast majority of the 47 million coins were released into commerce and subjected to decades of circulation, with countless numbers being melted during World War II metal drives. Consequently, while a collector can find a well-worn example without tremendous difficulty, locating one in MS-65 or higher condition is a notable challenge. The population reports from major grading services confirm that the number of coins graded at MS-66 and above is remarkably low, creating a significant condition rarity that fuels intense competition among advanced collectors. This disparity between the available circulated examples and the elusive high-grade specimens is the fundamental driver of its numismatic prestige and value. In the current numismatic market, the value of a 1935 D Lincoln cent is almost entirely dictated by its certified grade. A circulated example in good for condition might be acquired for around $1, but the investment escalates dramatically for uncirculated pieces. A specimen graded MS-63 might trade in the $150 to $250 range, while an MS-65 can command prices from $700 to over $1,000. The true market peaks are seen in the superlative grades. An MS-66 can realize prices from $2,500 to $4,000, and the pinnacle of the series, the rare MS-67, has been known to fetch auction prices soaring to $6,000 or more. These values are propelled by strong demand from set builders and investors who recognize the coin's pivotal role in the series and its limited availability in top-tier condition. For collectors pursuing a high-quality 1935D, diligence and verification are paramount. Given the premium for mint-state examples, purchasing a coin that has been independently certified and encapsulated by a top-tier grading service such as PCGS or NGC is non-negotiable. This not only guarantees authenticity, but also provides a reliable assessment of condition, protecting against altered or artificially enhanced surfaces. When evaluating a potential purchase, look for full mint luster, a sharp strike on Lincoln's cheek and the wheat ears, and clean, mark-free surfaces. It is advisable to source such coins through established numismatic auction houses, reputable dealers with specialized knowledge in Lincoln cents, or major coin shows where you can physically inspect the coin or rely on the reputation of the vendor. Ultimately, the 1935 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is far more than a common piece of change. It is a numismatic icon whose value is layered in history, scarcity, and collector passion. It represents a crucial juncture in both American history and the Lincoln cent series, offering a tangible link to the past while presenting a compelling challenge for the present-day collector. Its dual appeal lies in its accessibility in lower grades for the novice and its elite status in gem condition for the seasoned specialist. As a centerpiece of a collection, it offers not only immense aesthetic and historical satisfaction, but also strong potential for long-term capital appreciation, ensuring its place as a perennial favorite and a wise acquisition for any discerning numismatist. Next coin. Today, we're taking a close look at a coin that is far more than just a piece of old, dirty copper. We are examining a 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, you might see a common date from the beloved wheat series, but this particular coin, hailing from the San Francisco Mint, holds a special position due to its condition and the specific circumstances of its production. While millions were struck, the survival of this coin in any state of preservation tells a story of the Great Depression era, and finding one today, even in a heavily circulated and very dirty condition like this, is a tangible link to the past that many collectors actively seek to add to their holdings, making it a cornerstone piece for any serious Lincoln cent collection. The year 1937 was a period of cautious optimism in the United States. The nation was still deep in the grip of the Great Depression, but there were faint signs of economic life. The San Francisco Mint, one of the key branches of the U.S. mint system, was tasked with producing a significant portion of the nation's coinage to facilitate daily commerce. The S mint mark signifies its origin, and for the 1937 Lincoln cent, the mintage was substantial, yet not as colossal as those from Philadelphia. This creates a fascinating scenario for collectors today, where the coin is not rare in a general sense, but becomes progressively more challenging to find as you move up the grading scale, with high-grade examples being genuine condition rarities that command significant attention. The design of the 1937 Wheat Penny is the classic Victor David Brenner creation that had been in use since 1909. The obverse features the timeless profile of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of strength and unity for the nation. Inscriptions include "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1937. The reverse is the iconic pair of wheat stalks, framing the denomination's 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto EPLURIBUSUNUM. The S mint mark is located just below the date on the obverse, a small but critical detail that assigns this coin its origin and a major part of its identity and collectability. On a coin in very dirty condition like our example, these design elements are often worn flat, but the overall impression of the portrait and the wheat ears remains powerfully clear. When we discuss the rarity and survival of the 1937 Lincoln cent, the conversation is entirely about condition. With an original mintage of over 34 million pieces, it is considered a common date in lower grades and well-circulated states. However, the vast majority of these coins entered circulation and were used extensively, leading to heavy wear and loss over the decades. Consequently, while you can find a problem-free circulated example without tremendous difficulty, locating one with sharp details and original surfaces is a genuine challenge. Coins that survived in mint state, especially those with full red color, are the true prizes. A coin in the very dirty condition we see here represents the lower end of the survival spectrum, but it is a complete, collectible, and important coin that fills a slot in an album and has a story to tell. Collector demand for the 1937 is consistently strong, as it is a key date for anyone building a complete set of Lincoln cents, particularly a set from the 1930s, a decade known for its lower mintages across the board. It stands out in the Wheat Penny series not because of an ultra-low mintage, but because of the condition census. The demand is bifurcated. On one end, new collectors seek affordable, lower-grade examples to complete their folders, and on the other, advanced collectors and investors compete fiercely for the handful of superb gem examples that come to market. This coin, in its very worn and dirty state, serves as an accessible entry point, a placeholder that can be upgraded later, but it is an essential part of the journey for nearly every Lincoln cent enthusiast. In terms of market value in today's dollars, the 1937 Wheat Penny has a very wide range, entirely dependent on its state of preservation. A coin in a heavily worn, very dirty but identifiable and problem-free good-for condition, like the one we are discussing, is quite affordable, typically trading in a range from $2 to $5. However, as we climb the grading ladder, the values increase dramatically. A coin in extremely fine 40 might bring $10 to $15, while a mint state 63 red-brown example can see prices from $75 to $150. The true market giants are the fully red, gem mint state 65 and higher examples, which can command prices from $1,500 to over $4,000 at auction, reflecting their extreme scarcity in such pristine condition. For collectors aiming to acquire a 1937 Wheat Penny, your strategy should be dictated by your budget and collecting goals. If you are building a typeset or a circulated series, focus on finding a coin that, while worn, has even wear and no major damage like cleaning, corrosion, or bends. The very dirty surface should be a natural, old grime, not active PVC or verdigris. For those targeting a mint state example, purchasing a coin that has been professionally graded and encapsulated by either PCGS or NGC is virtually mandatory to ensure authenticity and condition. Pay close attention to the color designation, red, red-brown, or brown, as this has a profound impact on value. Look for these coins at reputable coin dealers, major numismatic auctions, and well-vetted online marketplaces. In conclusion, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic American coin whose appeal lies in its historical context and its challenging condition spectrum. It is a coin that is both accessible to the beginner and endlessly intriguing to the seasoned specialist. While common in worn grades, its status as a condition rarity in mint state ensures it will always be a respected and sought-after issue. Whether you start with a humble, well-traveled piece like this one or aspire to own a brilliant gem, the 1937 S is a fundamental and rewarding coin to own, representing a tangible piece of 1930s San Francisco and American history. And speaking of classic American coins with surprising value, wait until you see what we have for you next time. We'll be examining a coin from a completely different series, a silver issue with a tiny mint mark that makes all the difference, turning an ordinary denomination into a prize that can be worth over $2,000. You won't want to miss it. Third coin. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents a fascinating and pivotal moment in American numismatics, with certain ultra-rare varieties commanding extraordinary attention and price tags far exceeding the humble face value of the coin. While millions of these cents were struck for circulation, the series is bifurcated by a monumental historical event, creating a clear distinction between the common and the exceptionally rare. The pursuit of high-grade, pre-war composition specimens, particularly those with full, original mint luster and impeccable surfaces, drives a passionate segment of the collecting community. This specific year is a cornerstone for any serious Lincoln cent collection, embodying the transition from an era of copper-rich coinage to one defined by the necessities of global conflict, making its finest examples a highly sought-after prize. Historically, the 1942 Lincoln cent was minted on the precipice of America's full-scale immersion into World War II. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1940 had just occurred, setting in motion massive industrial and economic shifts to support the war effort. Initially, production of the 1-cent coin continued with the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, as copper became a critical war material for shell casings and other military equipment, the U.S. Mint began experimenting with alternative metals. This resulted in a dual-issue year. The traditional bronze coins struck early in the year, and the new zinc-coated steel cents that would debut in 1943. The 1942 bronze cents, therefore, are the last of their kind, the final echo of a peacetime metallic composition, minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco before the home front's reality fundamentally altered the coin in your pocket. The unique features of the 1942 bronze Lincoln cent are what make high-grade examples so visually arresting. The obverse features Victor David Brenner's iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design that had been in use since 1909. The reverse showcases the two wheat ears, symbolizing American agricultural prosperity. On a coin that has survived the decades in pristine mint state condition, the surfaces exhibit a rich, reddish-brown or sometimes golden-brown luster that is distinctly different from the later steel issues. The sharpness of strike is critical. On the obverse, one looks for full detail in Lincoln's hair, the crispness of the lettering and the sharpness of the date. On the reverse, the lines of the wheat stalks should be fully defined, without any weakness. The visual appeal of a fully original, uncirculated 1942 bronze cent, with its vibrant cartwheel luster spinning in the light, is a numismatic spectacle. The rarity of the 1942 Lincoln cent is not in its overall mintage figures, which were substantial, but in the conditionally scarce survivors. For instance, while the Philadelphia issue had a massive mintage, finding examples in grades like MS67 plus red or higher is a significant challenge, with populations in these elite tiers being exceptionally low. The San Francisco minted 1942 S issue is particularly noted for its scarcity in premium grades, as many coins were poorly struck or bagmarked during production. The true pinnacle of rarity, however, lies in the 1942 proof coins, struck in limited numbers for collectors at the Philadelphia Mint. These were made using the standard bronze planchets and feature mirror-like fields and frosted devices. with an original mintage of just 32,600 for the 1942 proof, and far fewer surviving in top grades like PR67 red or better. These pieces represent the absolute zenith of the series for the year, and are among the most coveted and valuable Lincoln cents of the early 1940s. The market value for these coins reflects their condition and rarity with dramatic precision. A common, circulated 1942 cent is worth little, but the price escalates rapidly for uncirculated examples. A 1942 D in a grade of MS66 red can trade for $600 to $900, while the scarcer 1942 S in the same grade may command $1,000 to $1,800. The values for the Philadelphia issue in superlative grades are even more impressive, with a coin graded MS67 plus red realizing prices in the $2,500 to $4,500 range at major auctions. The ultimate market champions, however, are the proof issues. A 1942 proof graded PR66 red can see values from $3,000 to $5,000. And if a specimen achieves a grade of PR67 red or higher, it can easily break the $7,000 to $10,000 barrier, with exceptional examples pushing even higher, reflecting their status as the finest known survivors. For collectors aiming to acquire a high-value 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny, diligence and a focus on quality are paramount. The first step is to insist on coins that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by leading services like PCGS or NGC. This guarantees the coin's authenticity and condition, which is essential for a purchase of this magnitude. When evaluating a certified coin, even within its holder, examine the quality of the surfaces for any distracting contact marks, the evenness and brilliance of the color, and the strength of the strike. Building a relationship with reputable numismatic dealers who specialize in Lincoln cents or participating in established auction houses provides access to vetted specimens. It is often more prudent to save for one superlative coin than to acquire several lower-grade examples. The long-term appreciation potential is almost always concentrated at the very top of the condition census. In conclusion, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny, particularly in its premium bronze manifestations, is far more than a common piece of change. It is a tangible artifact from a nation on the brink of total war, representing the end of an era in American coinage. Its appeal is multifaceted, combining significant historical context with the pure numismatic pursuit of perfection in strike, luster, and surface preservation. For the advanced collector, securing an example in MS67 red or a proof in a high grade is not merely an acquisition but a capstone achievement, a piece of history preserved in near-flawless condition. Its robust and well-documented market performance underscores its enduring status as a blue-chip holding, promising to remain a centerpiece of sophisticated collections and a sound numismatic investment for generations to come. Last coin. Well, now, let's get into this 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This coin, a piece of history you can hold in your hand, is far more than just a cent. For collectors, the Wheat Penny series is the bedrock of American numismatics, and this particular issue from the final year of World War II holds a special place. While it's a common date in lower grades, finding one in a condition that does the era justice is the real challenge, and that's where its true collectible value lies. This coin represents a nation on the brink of peace, a symbol of the industrial might that helped win a war, and for the modern collector, it's the quest for a high-grade example that makes the hunt so compelling. It's a series where condition is absolutely everything, and a coin like this, despite its circulated state, teaches us what to look for. The year 1945 was a monumental one in world history. As this coin was being struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa were raging, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt would pass away in April, leaving Harry S. Truman to lead the nation through the war's end. The coinage of this period was vital for commerce, and the mints were operating at full capacity to support the war effort. The composition of the cent remained the same: 95% copper and 5% tin, and zinc alloy used since the war began in 1943, a return to the pre-war bronze after the single year of steel pennies. Every coin produced was a small part of the massive American economic engine. The 1945 penny, therefore, isn't just a piece of currency. It's a tangible artifact from the very moment the world was transforming, minted in the shadow of great conflict and on the dawn of a new peace. The design of the Lincoln Wheat Penny is iconic, a creation of Victor David Brenner. The obverse features the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design that was revolutionary when introduced in 1909, as it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to portray a real person. To the left of Lincoln, you have the word liberty, and the date 1945 is to the right. The motto, "In God We Trust," arcs above the president's head. The reverse is the classic design that gives the coin its name: two simple, yet elegant, stalks of wheat running parallel up the sides. This symbolizes the nation's agricultural prosperity. At the top is the national motto, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and at the bottom the denomination 1 cent is displayed, with United States of America arched above it. The condition of a coin, like this dirty example, heavily affects the sharpness of these details, particularly the lines in the wheat stalks and the definition in Lincoln's hair and coat. When we talk about rarity and survival for the 1945 Lincoln cent, we must be very specific. In terms of pure mintage, with over 1 billion coins struck at Philadelphia alone, it is abundantly common in well-circulated grades. Millions survived in pocket change for decades. However, the concept of rarity shifts dramatically when we discuss condition. While finding any 1945 penny is easy, locating one that has survived the last 8 decades with its original surfaces mostly intact, with strong luster and minimal marks, is a genuine challenge. Coins that spent years in canvas bank bags or were subject to harsh environmental conditions often emerge dull, spotted, or corroded. Therefore, a problem-free example with full mint luster and sharp strikes is actually quite scarce and represents a very small fraction of the original mintage, making high-grade specimens the true prizes. Collector demand for the 1945 wheat penny is consistently strong, as it is for all pre-1958 Lincoln cents, but it stands out within the late 40s series for a few key reasons. It is the last issue of the World War II era, serving as a bookend to a defining period in American history. This historical significance drives interest from both coin collectors and history buffs alike. While it doesn't have the key date status of the 1909 SVDB or the 1914 D, its appeal lies in its accessibility as a starting point and the difficulty of its high-grade pursuit. For a collector building a set of wheat pennies by date and mint mark, the 1945 is an essential, common building block. But for the collector aiming for a top-tier set in mint state grades, the 1945 becomes a significant hurdle, a coin that requires patience and a sharp eye to acquire in gem condition. So what is a coin like this actually worth in today's market? For a heavily circulated, dirty example like the one we're discussing, the value is quite modest, often in the range of just a few dollars, as it's considered a filler coin until a better one is found. However, the market value for a 1945 Lincoln penny in mint state condition tells a completely different story. A brown coin graded MS-60 might bring around $8 to $12, but as we climb the grading scale, the prices escalate quickly. A nicely preserved MS-63 brown example can be worth $25 to $40. Jump to a choice MS-65 brown, and you're looking at a value between $75 and $150. The real premium, however, is for coins that have retained their original red color. A full red MS-63 can command $150 to $250. An MS-65 red can be worth $600 to $900. And a superb gem, MS-67 red, is a condition rarity that can trade hands for $4,000 to $6,000 or even more at auction, a staggering sum for a single cent. For any collector aiming to acquire a worthwhile 1945 wheat penny, the advice is to focus relentlessly on condition and surface quality. Look for a coin with a strong strike, particularly on the lines of the wheat stalks on the reverse and the details of Lincoln's hair and suit on the obverse. Avoid coins with heavy bag marks, scratches, or any signs of cleaning, as these drastically reduce value and appeal. The color is paramount. Original red coins command the highest premiums, followed by red-brown and then brown. Having a coin professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC is highly recommended for any mint state example, as it authenticates the coin, confirms its grade, and protects your investment. You can find these coins at local coin shops, major coin shows, and through reputable online dealers and auction houses. Be patient and wait for the right coin that speaks to you. In conclusion, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny embodies the core principles of numismatics: history, scarcity, and condition. It is a common coin made remarkable by the pursuit of preservation. Its value lies not just in its metal, but in its story as a relic from the end of the greatest conflict in human history. For the new collector, it is an affordable and historically rich entry point into the world of coin collecting. For the seasoned veteran, it represents a challenging condition census coin that can elevate an entire wheat penny set. Its enduring appeal is a testament to its simple, beautiful design and its place in the fabric of 20th century America. And speaking of coins that tell a story, wait until you see what we're going to discuss next. In our upcoming video, we will be examining a coin from a completely different era, a stunning silver issue that is one of the most legendary semi-key dates in its entire series. It's a coin known for its low mintage and exceptional beauty in high grades, a true prize that every collector dreams of owning. You will not want to miss this one.